When your old career gives you lemons, throw in some ice, mix in some vodka, and call it a podcast. From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Well, hello and welcome. Thank you for getting your pod on. Thanks so much for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. So today, I'm very honored that it's just me and Laura today. I'm very thankful that
calendar.
You did.
I know.
You said the thing, and I said, "Yeah, absolutely. You're on the other. Let's go." And then I wasn't sure. I'm never sure who's actually coming in. It's poorly run. I don't know how we've survived 2 years. It's just an absolute mess. But we got through it. But I have many questions.
Okay.
Many things that we can discuss today. I as you pointed out, I'm dressed. I did substitute teach again today.
Yeah.
And I don't say where I'm subbing. I just leave it
Okay.
blank.
We'll leave that.
Yeah, only because I have to tell some of these stories.
Yes.
So I was subbing in an art class today, and the kids were great.
Age range?
Freshmen.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I guess maybe sophomores in this other later class. And it was a group of 4 girls, and they're making sculptures, and they're all chatting. They're making wire sculptures. I don't think they got anything done.
Okay.
All right,
I mean, yeah.
But they're chatting away. And I happen to I just will walk around. I'll talk to the kids because I figure I'm in there.
Yeah.
And if I can help, if I can make a suggestion, I don't know.
Yeah.
So they're talking, and I can't believe I'm going to tell you that. But it's a weird thing for me because guys don't, and I don't think could ever do this. So this one girl says, somebody grabbed her phone and they're flipping through her pictures, and she's like, "Oh, my stepbrother took that." And they said, "Oh, that's right. Your dad got remarried, right?" "Yeah." "And your mom is not." "Let me see a picture of your stepmom." Okay. So they show the girls are looking at a picture of stepmom. And I can't tell you how I had to walk to the other side of the room because I'm going, I want to see what the stepmom looks like, but I can't say anything. So all of a sudden I hear, "Oh my God, she is fire. She is lit." And then I hear, "I would turn gay for your mother, for your stepmom." That's what I hear. And I go, this is insane. So now they want
You have to go look at the picture.
I can't go look at the picture.
Whoa.
I cannot. Do you know what a creepy thing that would be? Do you understand how
if you just walk by and act like you're
I couldn't.
I would have to be involved.
I couldn't. I had to stand way back. But I think at times I hear the kids and I start laughing, and they'll go they'll tell me other subs yell at them and take their phones away. And I figure, let's just get along here. Yeah. You do your work. I'll help you if I can. There's no reason to make a shit show for anybody. So then they go, "Let me see your mom," this girl, "your actual mom." And she's like, "Okay." And I hear, "Yeah, she's cute." And I go, "What?" And I go "She's cute." And I go, what do you mean she's? So I again, but I'm standing on the other side. And they're kind of judging this girl's mom. And she goes, "Yeah, well, my mom is single. She's 34. And I'm like, 34? I know. This girl's 14.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, right. So this is the conversation. And I'm going, never in the history of the male species have they ever said, "Let me see a picture of your dad. And your dad's hot. No. Your dad's so good looking. I would turn gay for your dad." That would never happen.
Well, I think women have always been complimentary of other women with looks. And we all joke about how I'm so open about
yes.
There is, I can think of one girl that I know, and other people have said this, that are if I were to ever have a lesbian experience, I would want it to be with this girl because she's so fucking hot. And I can acknowledge that. You don't hear men ever say that.
No.
But you know, if I compare I could rank my dad's wives, you know, hottest to least hot, and
Your dad's what?
my dad's wives
Oh,
and
your
ex-wives.
dad's wives?
Like my mom is definitely the best looking,
but-
and then my dad just went downhill. I mean,
Did you tell him?
he knows.
He knows?
Literally at my wedding day, he was like, my parents divorced when I was 1, and I feel like I very much raised myself. I was very independent.
Oh,
By
you're
the
a
age,
feral
like,
child.
by
yeah.
like 14. So my
Yeah.
parents walked me together up to the aisle, and then I walked myself down. I was like, no, I'm doing this my own way. And my dad was like, I should have never left your mom. I'm like, well, you cheated on her a dozen times before you
I
got
should have
married.
never left your mom, and he's
Yeah.
got a new wife there?
Yeah, but he's on wife number 3.
At that point?
Yeah.
Is he still with wife number 3?
Yeah, but he's not really happily with wife number 3. She has
Sounds
cancer,
like a
so
dad.
he feels bad leaving her. Like my dad is literally the worst role model
Oh my
for relationships
God,
that you
this
could
is
ever
phenomenal.
imagine.
This is the most phenomenal story ever. So, but you could rank his wives best looking. And your mom,
Oh, yeah.
I've seen your
Yeah,
mom,
well,
attractive woman.
yeah.
Yeah. That's strange. But how about your dad's friends or anybody? Have you ever commented on a friend's father?
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I definitely have.
Okay. Yeah.
I have like a friend named Jay, and I always thought his dad was so hot, and I would tell him all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about like any girlfriends?
Like girlfriends' dads?
Like girlfriends' dads? Yes, not any girlfriend. Or any girlfriends, like even when you were in high school, parents divorce, new dad
yeah.
comes on the scene.
I don't think any of their dads were hot, but like
It was 3 and 5.
I mean, yeah,
after all. I
exactly.
forgot.
They're like all
That is
countrymen
right.
with their
Yeah.
mustaches
Yeah.
and their John Deere hats. But I mean, I definitely like have found older men attractive. I
Yeah.
mean, age is nothing but a number. But yeah,
Age is
I
nothing
would
but a number.
totally like. I would even say if I saw like a attractive 60-year-old now, I'd be like, you're really good looking for your age. But
See, it's when you have to put that caveat in there for your age. It
I
kind
know,
of takes
but like,
no,
if
it hurts a little
I
bit
know.
because as a guy who's approaching that number,
but if I were to tell a older man,
an older gentleman.
a generation older than me, hey,
Yeah.
you're really good looking, I don't want them to think that I'm hating
Oh,
on them, you know?
I see. But you are.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
just
you might a little
admiring
bit.
them. I'd be like, look at, I hope that whoever I am hooking up with at that age looks like you.
There's a way around it. I
Yeah.
hope whoever I'm hanging out with.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say somebody walked in the studio or no? All right. Foodie came in. I haven't seen. I've been thinking about you a lot lately. Can you sit down, Foodie? Just sit down for a second. I know you probably came to get Chinese food or something.
I did.
Yeah, I figured that. And you came in, and I didn't want you to you're all
I
quiet
know.
over
No,
in
I
the
don't
corner.
need a camera.
You don't need the camera.
No, we'll leave. We'll just leave it on.
Sound? Is this thing on?
Yes, it is on. You're on, and so the cans are there. How have you been?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm great. It's been a very, very long
It
time.
has, yeah.
I think of you often because every day I drop Jameson off, and then lately because he's living with me now, as I've been telling Laura, and this is the whole conversation started with I'm substitute teaching.
You are?
Yes. I know. I'm like the kid. So I've been in the same school for a couple weeks, and they asked me, they go, will you just be our floater? The kids, love you. The teachers think you're great. I go, okay. So I just show up.
This is FA4?
No, I'm not saying where, but but it is not at Fairport. So
Probably a good idea.
yeah, probably a good idea. But what's new, man?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, just,
College playoff
I
time
was
coming
gonna say,
up.
are you gambling on
yeah.
games right now?
Little heater right now, but
Oh,
yeah.
all right. Tell me, here's the one that I think maybe has a lot of interest locally, the Big Ten. And for the first time in the Big Ten, Oregon, right?
Yeah.
It's gone
Oregon, Penn
beyond. It's kind of weird that they're a West Coast team, but they're in the Big Ten championship game against Penn State. Who do you like?
Well,
and I
there's
think it's Oregon.
There is a lot of Penn State local.
Yes,
local
there is.
Penn State.
Yes,
Right?
yep.
I just left my buddy Bobby. His daughters go to Penn State. It's a tough one. I haven't really.
You haven't
gone
really
into
looked
my
at that. Okay.
research yet.
All right.
Put me on the spot, but I don't know the spread and.
Okay,
Yeah.
what does your gut say?
Oregon.
Yeah, mine too. And I feel a little bad saying that,
I think
but I
it's
just they're
just
so
because James Franklin. I don't think he can win a big game. He's never really showed that.
good. Well, hopefully, maybe he can turn around.
I'm
He's
sorry,
a great.
all the Penn State fans.
No, I
but
think some of the Penn State fans would tell you he's a great recruiter, but in those crucial moments. And again, you're putting it all on the shoulders of a 19-year-old guy. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. But
they'll ask Ohio State how that went.
not well.
Kyle McCord's lighting up Miami. Woo-hoo. Sorry, not sorry. Thank you.
So in Syracuse,
Yeah, Syracuse. Yeah, Kyle McCord.
doing I mean that transfer portal. Everybody is going for the transfer portal now. I think that like I'm watching the Florida State game, and they were just but they have a true freshman, right, as a quarterback. I thought he looked poised and good. Their offensive line is terrible, and the announcers are saying, "Oh, they'll just go through the transfer portal and beef up that line."
Right.
And I go, "Holy cow!" Because if you're sitting and they're keep recruiting and you're not going to start, now you sort of get to put
Right.
yourself in play.
Yeah, just look at Ohio State.
Well, look at Syracuse. I mean, they benefited
They paid
so
for
much.
McCord, but
Yeah.
Ohio State rosters were $20 million this year, and they couldn't beat a JV Michigan team.
It's worth $20 million in NIL deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they paid $20 million.
What's your gut feeling on the NIL deals? Name, image, likeness.
I think if the players can get it, good for them.
Yeah.
Like it's been so long where they were exploited.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're getting an education. In
Right.
Quotes.
I
did the
did
air
always
quotes, but
I did always think, you're getting
Right.
an education in world-class facilities and world-class trainers, but these guys I don't think they're ever really in the classroom.
what is the percentage?
They're there to play
of
ball.
college football players that go on to the next level?
Uh,
It's very.
I
low,
don't know. I wish I did.
right?
I thought
It's
it was
very
like
low.
2 or
If
3%.
you have 133 teams, they have 100 kids on the team, and there's 7 rounds in the NFL draft, and half of those probably don't make it on an NFL team.
Yeah.
So, they're putting their blood, sweat, tears into something that they're not. They're getting. Yeah, there's the exceptions where they're getting the education, they're
Mhm.
going to grad school, but good for them. I say good for them.
I guess you did avoid staying off camera
Right.
for too
You didn't.
long.
You're just
Still
talking and
setting it
talking,
up.
and so I had to throw you up there, and then it was I had the light all wrong, and
Oh, nobody cares.
well, no, it's fine. I thought it would be nice. People like to see
Yeah.
who's in there talking and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. And then Foodie's have you made a lot of money in this NFL season?
No,
No.
I don't know.
All right. Any picks for the Super Bowl? A little early. A little
I like
premature.
the Lions and the Bills.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But Philly, I mean, look at their schedule. They're probably not going to lose another game.
Yeah.
Could they get home field? So Buffalo plays Detroit in 2 weeks?
Mhm,
Yes.
on the 15th.
Yes.
I mean, big
Look
game.
at Laura.
big game.
Look at
Oh,
Laura.
well,
Look at Laura out of it on
I'm
the 15th.
I'm
on
wondering
the
if it's going to
15th.
be flexed.
Oh,
it's
look
a-
at this.
Well,
I want to go on the
Flex.
street and ask a bunch of ladies whose husbands are really into, or boyfriends
Yeah.
or fathers or whomever are really into the NFL, and ask them if they know what flex is. And I
Yeah.
know I'm going to be called a misogynist for even
no,
bringing
it's
that up,
okay.
but
I
I
don't
just
think most people
I don't think they
Yeah.
do. I don't know
Yeah.
that maybe some guys don't even know.
really.
Yes.
I don't know, but it's going to be. They're gonna flex that. I just don't want them to. Like I go to bed.
What time
I'm
is-
hosting a brunch that day, and like
Oh.
Lucas's friends, like for my 9-year-old who's obsessed, where like moms are all getting, well, like some of them are coming over. The kids are all gonna play. We're gonna have mimosas, and then we're gonna like sit down and actually watch the game at 4. So
Okay.
if it gets flexed till 8 o'clock,
Oh, it's already
that's not
at
gonna
4?
happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 4:30, and
You think they'll
those two
flex it?
teams.
No.
They won't
You
flex
don't.
it. Why? Why? Because the 4:00 game is like,
yeah.
well,
It's-
this week the Bills are 4:00, and they're like the America's
Uh,
game of the week
yeah.
against the
America's Game
Rams.
of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fox calls it America's Game of the Week. I don't know what CBS does. But.
but that's so they get Tom Brady on there.
So, there's only 3 games or 4 games at 4:00. It's very rare that they get flexed.
Okay.
Sometimes they get flexed from 4 to 1, but
Yeah.
it's usually earlier.
Okay. So very rarely to the night game.
I would say if
Yeah.
they have, because the
Just that the-
network can refuse the flex.
Look, these are two oh they can.
Yeah.
Okay. Because these are two teams that are kind of the hard luck of the NFL, right? Of,
Well,
one's
Detroit's
never gone to
never.
a Super Bowl. Buffalo's gone to 4 and never won.
Oh.
So that's a little crazy. You want to take a guess on what Foodie ordered at the Chinese
Yeah.
restaurant?
Well,
It's not for me.
what's
for your son?
Uh,
Okay. So for your son.
Yeah.
Well, that's very kind of you to come all the way out here and pick it up for him.
chicken with cashews.
I'm going to say orange chicken.
Negative.
All right, fried
Oh,
rice.
Sesame pork.
No fried rice. No.
Did he go to like chicken and broccoli with white rice?
Close.
Okay.
Close. Close.
Wow. It's a little
They
healthier.
got the sesame with white rice.
Okay.
It's the staple.
All right. Egg rolls?
No.
Wonton Szechuan style?
No.
Mm.
Just the $13.95.
Wow.
I think.
What kind of boring kid is that?
Oh my god. I had
It's my
a
son.
I had a craving for Chinese a couple weeks ago. I haven't ordered it in years, and I just got sesame chicken with. It came with fried rice. It lasted like 3 meals. That's a
Oh,
lot. That's
yeah. There's a ton of
massive-
food.
Yeah.
It is.
Massive serving.
Yeah, but you don't eat a lot. Do you?
No,
You probably
but
eat
like, I was still
Yeah.
like 3 full dinners.
So yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of food.
My
No, I-
son's
I could eat
6'5". He looks a lot like Bill's son.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's one meal.
It is.
I
one
mean,
meal.
yeah.
I picked Jameson up trying out for modified basketball team.
Okay.
I had 2 pork chops, like breaded, waiting for him, and rice. And he said on the way home, "Dad, can we stop and get something?" I said, "Oh, I got snacks there." He goes, "Yeah, plain tortilla chips and plain potato chips." Thanks a lot, Dad. And I go, "Okay, great." So I stop. We get Takis, Sprite.
Oh God.
Oh,
I know the Takis I don't get at all.
No.
I'm not a fan.
No.
disgusting.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
But loves them. So we get those, get that, and I got mac and cheese bites. And I said, "Listen, I want you to eat the pork chops and the rice." And I said, "And I'd love you to have salad. It's in the fridge there." Oh, I was home for 10 minutes. Both pork chops gone to the bone, and big pile of rice, and on to the mac and cheese bites. And I went, that was, I mean, he's 14.
Growing kid. He's
Oh.
huge though for
Yeah.
his age.
He's big. He's big for his age, but
Yeah.
there's bigger.
I mean,
There's bigger kids.
yeah.
No, I mean, like even here, like even basketball, he's going to be. Yeah, there was this guy who was like 7 feet tall, and they got me in the middle posting up, and I'm just like, what am I going to do with this guy? He should be playing wide receiver for Alabama. I'm like, okay, all right. So, Foodie, any other exciting things? Thanksgiving was good.
Thanksgiving was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Just had my family, and so I tried to spatchcock a turkey this year.
You
Have
tried to
ever
what?
Done that?
Spatchcock.
Spatchcock.
No, I don't
That's
even know
when
what
you
that is.
flatten it.
It's
like
a
you cut
fun
the-
word though.
Yeah,
the
spatchcock.
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 Yeah,
It's got cock. in it.
it's well, it's a great. Sounds like a move.
So it's when you cut the backbone out and then you like press it down so it's flat. It's supposed to cook even,
Okay.
and faster.
And by the way, he Foodie, a bit of a chef.
Oh.
So this is my first time doing this thing,
Okay.
and I'm like pop it on it like it's got CPR. I'm like trying to pop it down because you got to flatten it.
Yeah.
And I heard the crack, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. And then I dry brined it, threw in the fridge, and man,
It didn't cook evenly.
it took way longer than it
Oh.
should. And then I was thinking about it the next day. I'm like, man, it really wasn't flat. It was kind of like curved a little bit. So it was half spatchcocked. It
All right. Yeah.
was
Oh,
half cocked.
I think I've been there
It
a
was
few
a half
times.
cock.
That's been my excuse. I'm half spatchcocked. Just let me give me a few minutes here. I'll try to get to full spatchcocked and just. Wow, that's funny. What did it taste good?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Well, everybody said it did.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can.
Do you think
be
they
so
lied to you, or-
they might have?
Yeah.
It's family.
Yeah. Well,
You
that's what
know,
family
you
does.
know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm rating it down there. I'm like, this is 6.5 out of 10. They're like, no, Dad, it's great.
Did any of those guys cook? Your kids?
No,
I,
that's why I got to get.
yeah. Well,
trained.
sometimes I come home to all kinds of gourmet things all over the counter and pile up in the sink.
Well, that
I got-
happened.
yeah.
Gourmet ramen.
Ramen is done.
Mhm.
Steak once in a while.
Wow.
Really, well done and done in the cast iron pan.
Yeah.
And
My son actually does that.
yeah, Yeah.
You know, he'll
Because I'll
he
say,
does
let
it
me
good.
do it. And he'll go, huh,
Oh,
Dad.
you don't know what you're
yes. You don't get, you think salt's a seasoning. I go, okay. All right. I can't give up. I don't know. Any other fun stuff, Foodie? Has been, I thought of you a
It's
few
been-
times, and I was going to pop into places I know that you usually frequent.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh.
No.
all right. Well, I didn't say where. It could have been a bookstore for all I know.
You know, not, you know, it's
Nothing.
been
Yeah.
normal
All right.
ish,
Ish.
you know.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Well, we're about to take just a little break.
Okay, good.
You gotta,
I got to bounce.
You got to go. All right, you bounce and get to the Chinese. I'm so glad
Where
you came
is
in.
all
though.
the other crew tonight?
Well,
Not
Scared him away.
we
Yeah.
scared them away tonight. Yeah, there was just other things going on. Hockey's picked up with some
Oh,
people, and we're thinking of doing something on a Friday this week. And I know,
Ew.
I know, it's crazy. Ew.
Ew.
So that's all the stuff. But I'm so glad you
can
came
cut
in.
that out.
No, I'm gonna leave it all in there. I'm leaving
There's
the
nothing
entire
wrong
thing.
with
I'm
it.
leaving me turning on the cameras and everything. We'll take a moment, and when we come back, I wanted to take the conversation about moms
Oh,
to a place that I think that Laura could really talk to people about.
Okay.
In a very, very sincere way.
All right.
All right. As I make fun of it. We'll get to all that after this.
whew.
Laura's got a little secret tucked away.
This an
In
AI
the
song?
shadows she imagines night and day.
No, it's Danny and the
She
Healthy
dreams
Fats.
of dancing wild and free. There's a fear she can't set free. By the meadow, under sky so clear, she watches others laugh and show no fear.
Let's find an upbeat
From a
version of the same song.
I am
Laura's
obsessed.
got a little secret tucked away. In the shadows she imagines night and day.
Oh my God. Country
She
Hoedown.
dreams of dancing wild and free.
Uh-huh.
But there's a fear she can't set free. By the meadow, under sky so clear, she watches others laugh and show no fear. From
This
a
is amazing.
distance,
Yeah.
her heart yearns and sways,
It's a swing.
hidden but wanting to join their ways. Barbara wants to swing, but she's too shy. Stuck in the closet.
Only because you
She
mentioned
Oh,
before,
I
like,
know.
I'm curious. I'm
We
curious.
don't know. I'm curious.
So I thought that would be a funny little
I
song, and we
love
had
it.
it for so long now that I
You just-
yeah, and I think I forgot the last time you were
Oh
in to
my
play
God.
it. Yeah,
This is so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
that's a nice song by Danny and the Healthy Fats. Danny and the Healthy Fats taking care of that. Here's the question I wanted to ask you, because when this girl was saying like her mom is single but her dad is now remarried, I go, that's got to be sort of hard on the ex-wife, maybe a little bit. And then especially if these kids are looking at the new stepmom and saying how attractive the new
Mhm.
stepmom is, don't think mom doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Like I think I overheard one girl going, you know, I always look at all the other girls that are prettier than me and I get all uncomfortable. And I was like, it's got to be horrible. I don't know, guys aren't looking at it going, You might look at somebody who's bigger than you or more muscular than you and go, I wish I was doing that, or that's what I hope to be when I'm that age. But I don't, it wasn't a just overbearing feeling.
At like the teenage age.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's such a difference, right?
Well, I think that there's a difference between when we grew up versus nowadays, because you can't escape it nowadays. Like,
No, you
I mean, I'm 39, so what?
You're
when I was-
what?
I know.
People make that number up. Like, don't they lie about their birthday? How old's your mom? 39 again.
No,
No.
although my client yesterday asked if I was 28. I was like, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah.
You get a discount.
What was his name?
No, it was a woman.
Really?
Yeah, she was older too.
Okay. Then I say.
But no, shut up. But I think when I was 14, yeah, maybe, what I will say, this is going to sound funny. I was very self-conscious about my boobs because I had big boobs by 14.
Okay.
But I didn't compare the rest of myself to other people, but we didn't have social media. We
Yeah.
didn't have you
Did
went home and didn't worry
Boys
about it.
snap bras back then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
think
you
that, yeah, I'm
pull it
like they did. They
Yeah.
definitely did.
assholes.
But yeah.
All So my question was though this: what is something that nobody knows about being a single mom? You know what I mean? Or like a divorced mom, because it's a lot. And I don't think I was like, man, I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about what that is like beyond the, you'll hear judgment. Well, she's really getting around now.
I mean,
or
yeah, that's
whatever.
what I heard.
Well, I don't know. But-
I
But
think
you got your kids and you're trying to do the right thing and when to introduce someone to them, and what do you try to keep under wraps and quiet and still be an adult, right? A full life
yeah,
adult.
I think one thing that was very eye-opening to me was how much work it takes to run the house, run my business, take care of the kids. And that's why I felt like I said for the longest time I didn't actually have time to put into a relationship,
Yeah.
because I had
How long were you divorced?
I've been divorced for 3 years now.
Okay. All right.
And for 2 years I did it all on my own, like where
So you had full custody of your kids?
no, we have 50-50. But still it was just like if I again, I work sometimes at night. So
Yeah.
like and when I have my kids, I don't want to be doing the dishes as much. So
Right.
it's a large house to maintain
Yeah.
solo. Like I was exhausted just running that house, like, doing everything on my own, that there were times that I was like, okay, you know what? I don't care if the backyard looks like shit. Like nobody else is seeing it but me, or if my floors aren't mopped, like because I stopped paying for
But
a
is there
cleaner.
also, yeah, sure. And do you start to feel almost self-conscious about that? Let's say somebody stops by, drops one of your kids off, wants to come in the house. Do you feel uncomfortable? If the floors aren't mopped in the backyard? Okay.
because like my house obviously is never really a mess.
Yeah.
Because of what I do, but just like the deep cleaning that,
Yeah.
that didn't happen as much. It's just it wears a lot on you. Even like just I said those simple things, like if you had a husband at home and you were like, "Hey, can you switch the laundry? Can you unload the dishes for me?" Like
Right.
I didn't have any help for a long
Yeah.
time, but it was sort of cool to prove to myself that I could do it
Yeah.
and that I didn't need
Yeah.
anyone.
Right.
So,
Was there legitimately like real satisfaction in that in a
oh,
way?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I'm not being able to make my bills. I'm not, running behind on anything. Like I'm still keeping up with my life and my home and still doing, my fun vacations that I like to do. Like I just really wanted to prove that I could do it.
Yeah, you guys been out tearing up the town. I saw some
I
pictures on social media.
know.
You and your girlfriend's going wild.
Yeah, I
know.
had a busy weekend, but I don't know. I think it's hard, like as a single mom or going through a divorce, just like having everything be on your shoulders. Like I could have,
And trying to not make it show.
yeah,
Right? Because
like
it's almost like you kind of, do you feel that way? Do you feel like you can't? I don't know. I'm asking. I really
I
don't
mean,
know.
I think I'm very open with people about how exhausting it is, and getting caught up in the. We have a mutual friend who's going through something right now, and she is sort of caught up in this dull feeling of somebody just broke my heart. Like I can't do anything in life. And I'm like, you need to learn how to just be independent and like self-sufficient.
All right. Okay. This brings me to a thing that I always thought was more of a male thing with divorce.
Mhm.
That a lot of times you would see a guy, and I guess there's what Stephanie Ida has referred to on the podcast as the whore face, but you would see some guy who like he just got divorced and within a year is in a like they're locked down.
It took my ex 5 months.
Yeah. And I go, why? What is that? Is it the male pattern that it just feels easier? All the things you just said. You're saying things, and I feel it now. I've been alone for the 4 years, but then Jameson is back with me, and trying to just keep the house at a reasonable level, right?
Yeah.
So the kitchen, especially, let's have that. And when there's less, when it's a little cleaner, there's less chaos, there's less disorganization. You do all that. That takes a while, and I'm not in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not in the house. And so you're doing that, the laundry, the dishes, the food shopping,
And
running him, making meals to make sure that he's actually eating something
Uh-huh.
other than Takis. You know what I mean? And but like all that stuff. And it is a lot. I had to call you tonight and go, I need to delay it to like 6:15.
Yeah.
Only because,
Kids.
and this is stuff that's going on. But I don't know. And I think too, like you, there's a little bit of satisfaction in the shit. I can do this.
Yeah. And it was a lot of my friends, whether they're single moms or not, they work from home. And being able to work from home, you can go and clean something for 10 minutes as a break,
Yeah.
or like
I'll
again,
set
that
timers
switch the laundry,
for 15
do
minutes
things like
just
that. Like
to show you, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no.
to go 10 minutes, how much you can actually get done
Yeah.
in that amount of time. And you're right.
And I'm gone all day.
Yeah.
And I'm gone a lot at night. But I really, and this is why, like I said, when I, went through my single phase, I was very open that I didn't have the time to date. Like I would
Yeah.
go and I would lightly date, but I did not want to get serious with
What is
anyone.
lightly dating? What does that mean?
Lightly dating is hanging out with someone for a couple weeks and
Getting laid, going on.
yeah,
All
and
right,
then
move
when they
on.
want something a little more serious, I say no, thank you.
What if you've
I ran into one of the guys this weekend.
Oh.
Oh,
How did that go?
It was okay. He
Yeah?
was cordial after 2 years.
But what about like a guy who maybe you started to fall for? There wasn't one. You're a cold-hearted woman over there.
It
You-
didn't happen until the one
Yeah,
now.
well, right. Yeah, I got
You
that.
know?
Yeah.
But like I did get messed up, like with, everyone knows, like I had sort of not the most, or a little bit of a illicit relationship, like right at the beginning of my divorce, and that guy fucked me up for a while. And so like it was like learning to love myself again and
Yeah.
being like, I can do
Which are all the
everything.
things that like every guy rolls his eyes at. Oh, here we go. Fucking love myself again. Blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying that I really do. And as a guy,
Mhm.
I think that the rules are not the rules because there aren't any rules, but
Yeah.
societal standards and what we've come to say is maybe more traditional. Maybe some people say misogynistic society. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of pressure that no women really talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't talk about, and how tough it is when they're home alone. The kids are over with the ex, and the ex has got his new girlfriend or whatever, and you're just there. And there's not a lot of money to go out and do anything, and you don't feel like cleaning anything, and you just kind of melt into your couch and maybe you cry. I don't know. But
No.
I'm like, that stuff is usually just never talked about.
No, and I mean, I said I never really missed Ethan as a person. I missed the help around the
Yeah,
house. I missed the co-parenting. Like, if I have the kids at night, they're both on me. If I have to run Lucas to basketball and Cam to baseball, like I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
figure
yeah.
out how the hell I'm gonna do it all myself.
Yeah, but with him living close, couldn't you call up and go, "Hey, man, can you grab this one on a Thursday night?"
Yeah, but I don't want him to do that to me a lot
Oh.
because I'm working.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
again, on the 2 nights.
Yeah.
Last night I was at a meeting until 8:00 at night. Tonight I'm here. Like, of course I will help if I can help, but and a lot of other parents are really willing to help. So like one of the parents on Lucas's baseball team right now, his practices go until 9:00 at night. Camden is dead asleep before then. So he's offered to drive Lucas back to my house.
Uh-huh.
But what?
Gas, grass, or ass. No kid rides for free. Just saying, Mom.
I've never heard of that.
What?
Gas, grass, or ass.
No one rides for free?
Yeah.
You never did hear that?
No, I've never
Oh,
heard
that's
of that.
that's
I like
an
it.
old saying.
But like the guys jumping into the relationships right away. Like,
I think that happens.
I
I
mean,
more than women.
yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Men, no offense. Men
Yeah.
can't be alone. As
Yeah.
we talked about my dad before.
Yeah.
He had the next wife lined up
Fuck
before,
y'all. I've
Yeah.
been alone and I like it.
before he left the current one. So
Your dad was what? With a
he
new
would
one?
have the next one lined up
Oh,
before he would leave
yeah.
who his current
Yeah.
partner would be.
Okay.
But like even when Ethan settled down after like 5 months, I was like, why don't you just give yourself time?
Yeah.
Go date around.
You haven't even
But,
got me out of your system yet, man.
I mean,
My DNA's still on those sheets. You bring up your job, and I heard a podcast, and I wanted to ask you if you agree with this. I normally don't listen to other podcasts, and I did listen to and I talked about Mel Robbins.
Okay.
I listened to 2 of them. One was just about getting control of your brain, and had a neuroscientist on and all that. It was interesting.
Mhm.
And then the other one was about decluttering
Uh-huh.
versus organization, which I go, to me, this lady's like the Oprah of podcasting. I guess she used to have a TV show. I know nothing about her.
really?
Yeah, I guess. And then somebody wrote me saying, after they heard me talk about her, say she had a TV show based in Boston. She ran into, it went sideways. She was $300,000 in debt,
Ooh.
and her husband wanted to run bought a restaurant in Vermont. So they moved to Vermont, and the rest is what she's been doing. She's very intelligent and then comes across, and she does a great job.
Yeah.
But it's very aimed at, I would say, women 25-54 would be my guess, or people, because I found the declutter organization interesting, but they were saying there's a difference between organizing and decluttering.
100%.
What
different.
would you say the difference is?
There's such a difference. Hoarders, a lot of times they can't get organized because they have so many things, but they can declutter.
Yes.
More people who want to live the minimalistically is who you want to have the organizing systems with. Then I take it a step further. I say that there's like 4 categories. If you're hiring me, you're either hiring me for decluttering, organizing, a hoarding situation, or moving is sort of the 4 things that I work with.
Okay.
If you want to declutter, you can definitely get organized while doing it.
Yes.
But it is sort of a 2-step process.
That is sort of what they were saying too. And
Mhm.
she said this one lady, and I remember her name because it's Dana White, and I think UFC. This person's name was Dana K. White, and she's written a book on declutter. I don't know,
Mhm.
fucking idea.
Oh yeah.
But the thing was, she said, when you organize, you're buying more things
Yep.
to
a lot of
organize,
times.
and to declutter, you're just getting rid of stuff. And she
Mhm.
gave an example about, and so here's why it sort of came up on the podcast. Because when I'm listening to the second one on the ride back from my mom's, Jameson's earbuds needed to be recharged. So now he's listening to the podcast. And they say something like contain. The word contain is in container. And you have to think of contain. And he looks at me and goes, is this for real? In the car. So then they do this thing about, the woman says, I went over to a friend's house and I kept thinking I need a bigger house. But when I thought about it for all the stuff, she had a smaller house and it was better organized.
Yeah.
And she said, so I look and she's got 2 red buckets. She goes, for the kids' crayons. She said, well, we had like 700 crayons and broken crayons still right. So I got 3 buckets, but the 3 buckets wouldn't fit on the shelf. And so that becomes your problem with,
Mhm.
instead of just getting rid of the broken crayons. So then Jameson wants to stop at Target on our way home. So we stop and he's walking in and he goes, we could get crayons, but broken crayons still right. And then he looks at me and goes, I found this so funny and it's so bad and I shouldn't laugh at it. And I'm sure people will get annoyed with me. But he goes, is this what happens when you give middle-aged women recording equipment? And I was like, it made me laugh, but I go, let me tell you something, mofo. I got value out of that podcast.
Yeah.
I got value out of listening to that.
Oh
I
my
did.
God. My chiropractor the other day was like, I remember the first time that I met you, you told me to create drop zones around my house. And he's like, that literally changed my wife's like
What drop zones?
drop zones.
What are these drop zones?
So instead
It's like
of
when I was married and she would leave shit on the stairs and we would all just step over it
Yes.
and ignore it.
But-
this has been on the stairs for 3 days.
Oh
Do
my
your,
God.
your eyes blind? Did they not work?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tell people to get like you can get staircases now, like or there's different things for that. But instead of leaving stuff all over the house,
Yeah.
designate like just a few specific areas. So
As your-
if you're looking for something, you're not looking in 10 different zones of your house. Sort of categorize your house and have like one drop zone be right next to the kitchen, and that could be like where you're unloading your stuff for the day. That's where the purse goes, the keys
Yeah.
and the essentials. Like the kids need to get involved in it too. Like if they're, unloading their school backpacks, like, is that where that stuff goes? And yeah.
What do you say to your kids? Do you do this with your kids?
Oh, my kids are they are so organized. It's amazing.
Okay, so they're anal. No, because I hang up my keys, and I think I've said this before.
Oh
I
yeah.
used to walk around saying I only have so much time on the planet. I don't want to spend it looking for my keys,
Yeah.
so I hang them up. But I don't do that with everything. Like every once in a while, my wallet just seems to disappear.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I
The
mean
yeah.
that's something that I need to do.
Uh-huh.
All right, we'll take a quick moment here. Hear from some of our great sponsors who are so kind to sponsor this podcast, going on its 2nd anniversary later this week. But I wanted to. Have you heard the story about the? I was afraid to bring this up. Then I recorded the video so we can hear it. It was a 49ers fan, a little girl, 8 years old from
Oh,
Rochester.
yeah.
Beat liver cancer 2 times.
Mhm.
And it's so how do I see this story? I don't see it locally. I see it on the New York
New York
Post.
Post.
.com, Buffalo, right? Buffalo fans, LOW. That's like Buffa hyphen LOW. It's New York Buffa.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Punny.
and I'm going, what? Hang on a second. You pushed an 8-year-old girl. I don't care. You may not know she had cancer. Who would know?
Yeah.
Right. But who's doing that? Like, I can't imagine any grown adult you can get a good buzz going and be probably drunk. I would say buzz, but I'm Irish. And I thought there's no way that this, because then I thought if they it's like they pushed her over seats and she fell down is what I'm getting from the thing. And I go, if you had a daughter that beat cancer, you take her to her first NFL game. She's a 49ers fan because she and her dad watched the games together. I go, my fist would be in that guy's face. I would not be able to help it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, something in this story isn't adding up to me. So we will play it and see what your thoughts are.
Okay.
Right after this. know this song?
No.
All right. It's 52 years old, this song.
Operator, or could you help me place this call?
It sounds familiar,
See, the
actually.
number on the matchbook is
So-
old and faded.
Now, nobody talks to an operator or has a matchbook
Living
anymore.
in LA
Wait.
with my best old ex-friend Ray. Gosh, just said you knew
Well,
and
sometimes hated. Yeah.
But isn't that the way they say it goes? So let's forget
Jim
all
Croce.
that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels.
So it's about your girl going with your best friend. All of a sudden, and they're out in LA, and I'm gonna. What are you laughing at? I'm gonna call and say, "Hey, man, I'm cool, right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna show you that I overcame the blow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing great. How you doing?
Well, I mean, you and I talk off mic about something.
Yes, I know. Well, that's why I'm.
Yes, I get that. I
that
get it,
was
I
the
get
whole
it.
story.
It tied in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And isn't
Yeah.
that a great song?
Yeah.
I always thought his lyrics were
Forgiveness
fantastic.
is great.
Do you know the? Well, he's really not forgiving. It's talking about how hurt he is inside, and he can't. He can't let it out and stuff. But do you know any other Jim Croce song? You probably do. Bad Bad Leroy Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jim, you don't pull on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind.
I would have to hear it.
Don't mess around with the Lone Ranger. You don't something with the Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. Yeah.
Don't fuck with Jim.
No, you don't. And Jim
Nope.
was a pool hall hustler.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah,
okay, okay.
You know these songs. That's
Again,
Jim Croce.
this is like us all the time with Theme That Tune. Like,
Yes.
I can sing along, but
You
I
got
can
it.
never tell you the name or the artist.
I always thought this guy died in a plane crash very young, and I always thought his lyrics were just great.
Mhm.
I really thought Jim Croce's lyrics on some of the things just that weren't pop radio hits when I was just a baby, a child. But these were, as I got older, I go, oh, these are greater songs. He's got one called Rapid Roy, that race car boy. I used to play for Randy every once in a while. Oh, you know what I want to do is you can interact with the show. People leaving comments as we're live on YouTube. I don't know that we're on Facebook tonight. They were got something saying it wasn't working. But hi, Bill and Laura.
Oh.
Hey, Bill and Laura.
Who is
Somebody
it?
wrote, hey, Steph.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was with stuff this weekend.
Yeah, well,
but-
she put on there, hey, John, laugh my
Oh.
ass. Those kind of men are great. Somebody else writes, those kind of men are great. The ones that I guess jump right into the next thing. I don't know. I guess. I have no idea. Well, you can also call us anytime. The number scrolling on the bottom of the screen, 585-206-8866. And we'll play some messages when we come back. But I want to get to this story about the girl at the Bills game.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, and I don't know if this is a cynical or a mean way to be, but there was a piece of me that went, I feel like there's more to this story. I can't imagine anybody pushing
Pushing an 8-year-old.
exactly, not purposefully.
Mhm.
Yeah, like maybe you're jumping up and down in the stands and you're a little inebriated and the seats are close together and you bumped into her. Okay, different story. And I think even then the parents would be, I got it. I don't know. This story has taken on a life of its own to the point where Antonio Brown, the former wide
God.
receiver, is saying to people, here's her GoFundMe. I think they raised $10,000 in a very short period of time.
Well, that's good.
See, there is some good that comes
Yeah.
from it. Here's the story from Channel 4 in Buffalo, New York.
The Western New York community is turning an upsetting moment at the Bills 49ers game into something good.
Last night, 8-year-old 49ers fan Mia DiCamilla, who is a cancer survivor, was shoved by a member of the mafia, falling from her seat.
Now, I hear that and I'm going, why wasn't there a brawl?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because look, you have traveled to other stadiums. You
Uh-huh.
went out to Seattle. Were you treated well? Sometimes,
Yeah,
like,
there were more Bills fans.
okay. Some people say like if you go to Philadelphia, they're not going to be
yeah.
friendly and they're not going to be this.
Yeah.
We've heard the horror stories. We have seen the horror stories. People have died in fights after games. I've seen brutal fights.
Mhm.
Even I think there was a Chargers Rams game and there was a fight out in LA. But this, I go, a kid, well,
Yeah.
something's not adding up.
Virginia Morello spoke with Mia and her family about what they want fans to learn from that experience. Dylan.
Dave and Kelsey, the family tells us that luckily Mia was not physically hurt
Okay.
during altercation, but was emotionally shaking. That caused them to leave her first ever NFL game early.
All right. Now this makes a little more sense to me because if your kid's upset and had a traumatic experience, and that's what trauma is, you got to be the right parent. Just go, okay, honey, we'll leave,
We'll
right.
go.
8-year-old Mia DiCamilla currently lives in Rochester, New York. She, however, became a big 49ers fan because of her father.
Me and my dad in the hospital will watch football together. And then when I come home sometimes for breaks, like in the hospital when I had cancer, I will sit down and, just relax and watch football
Right.
all
Cute
day.
sounding
That's
kid,
what I
right?
like. And
All right.
and that's how I made my team.
Mia has battled and beaten liver cancer twice after relapsing in May of last year. She's been featured on Buffalo's Hope Rises and News 4's Shine Gold event, helping raise money for other young cancer warriors. On Sunday, she went to her first NFL game at Highmark Stadium, braving the cold with a smile, holding proudly an I Beat Cancer sign.
Okay. All the markings of like one of these feel good stories. Do
Yeah.
we not root for this kid?
Yeah.
How do you not root for this kid, this poised, right? Just well-spoken 8-year-old kid? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you can't not cheer for
In
him.
the car, when we were driving there,
Listen,
I was saying, like, oh, are we there? Yeah, I was truly excited. Like, I was full with energy.
what 8-year-old says I was truly excited and
I
not
was
like,
full with energy.
yeah, I'm going to crash out. All right. I'll crash out. I'm so excited.
Fun night was
Ew.
cut short after the family tells us a drunk Bills fan pushed Mia down the stairs in unshoveled section 3.
Okay. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Shoved Mia down the stairs. And I'm not saying that this young lady shouldn't get attention and there isn't good to come of it. Don't hate me for this, but that is overblown.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah.
because, and it's grabbing national attention. It must be a slower news day. That, you know what I mean? Like, it's the cover of the website, at least at one portion of the day for the New York Post.
Yeah.
You saw it.
I
I saw
saw
it.
312.
He said, I'm going to push through all these Niner fans. So he actually bumped my son and me a little bit.
Bumped. So the guy's pushing through.
Yeah.
He's a dick. I get it, but
Yeah.
you're not anything worth throwing hands over.
And then got past me and pushed her, almost slid off the stairs and hit her like side on the chairs.
The family was so uncomfortable, they had to leave the game early.
The guy purposely walked through and was pushing through people. I mean, I get it.
See, now the father says, I get it. That's what I'm saying.
It was a dickhead.
It was a
drunk
dickhead
Buffalo
drunk.
Bills
Yeah,
fan
right.
shoving his way because if he's saying he hit the father first.
Yes.
So on the stairs, on the incline,
And,
he
and
probably,
not shoveled section, by the way.
Yes, he probably didn't see the little girl
I'm
in
sure he
front of
didn't.
him.
Right.
So yes, he's being a drunk asshole, but like,
I think
yeah,
it's just painted with a broad brush.
It's busy and hectic, but he's had to be 6 foot and she's less than 100 pounds.
The story caught the attention of former NFL player Antonio Brown, who is planning to FaceTime Mia tomorrow and raise awareness of her battle. Many on social media
I want to
called
stay away
on
from
Bills
Antonio
I was
fans.
going to say Antonio Brown. That's
He's
not
trying to-
who you want to align yourself with.
He's using you to get back in the
Yes,
good graces.
exactly.
I really think so. I think so.
A Bills Mafia. Still, Mia says she won't be back at Highmark anytime soon.
Because she's
We
a
don't wanna
49ers
go
fan.
back 'cause I know.
Hang on a second. She's a
like, give me 8 more
49ers
years
fan.
when they come back.
Yes,
again.
this is what I'm saying. She's a 49ers fan. Let's be honest about this.
Comfortable. I just don't feel ready to go there anymore.
Mia and her father add they hope this incident raises awareness to what some kids are going through. Even though they are battling for their life, they're still out there trying to enjoy it.
I know that there's competitiveness and whatnot, but there's a point to where it's a family event.
I just want to help and not be rude. I'm just there to be a nice girl and just have fun.
Yeah.
Now, there is a GoFundMe helping support Mia's
You
family.
can find it on the Channel 4 website and all that. And I think that stuff is really
Yeah,
good.
she
I
doesn't
don't,
sound
I'm not,
too beat up or upset.
I'm
about
not
it, honestly.
cold-hearted.
Yeah.
I get it. The kid's uncomfortable. I bet in that moment, maybe the dad especially, you're like, God, I just want to see. I don't ever get to see the 49ers.
Yeah.
And that you're a little emotional and hot. And maybe you take to social media and go, oh, we had to leave because of a drunk Bills fan. Not a lie. But I don't know that she was like the way they made it sound like she was
Sound like,
punted from the
somebody just
300 section. I should have
shoved
going.
her
I go,
down.
I'm like, I don't know. I
Whatever.
feel like
If
it's overblown.
Raising money for
It
the
will
family,
raise
that's
money.
great.
Yeah,
That's great.
it is.
Antonio Brown is not who I'd want to
Well,
talk to.
I think
but-
he's using you a little bit.
Yeah.
That would be my advice. And I know that I'm a cynical, cold-hearted asshole with no nerve endings, as I've been told at certain points in my life by people that have been told that. But I'm just looking at this logically. I go, okay, great. But I'm like, we made it sound like she was punted onto the field from the 300 section. And I go, that's not what happened.
It was on everything.
I
today.
guess. Okay. And I didn't see it anywhere but there. And then I did grab the piece from Channel 4 in Buffalo just to see she's from Rochester. I don't want to hear what Rochester's saying because they're going to really go deep. Well, let's hear what Buffalo's saying. So, well, you get the gist of the story. And what I'm trying to say is this got a little overblown.
Mhm.
I really think it did.
But that's media in any way.
Boy, I always thought that wasn't the case. And even I did.
You and I talk about how you always have to go beyond the headlines.
Well, you have,
like,
yeah.
because
Especially
exactly,
now is
yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah, you do. And that's why I wanted to go hear what this story was to go, boy, they're making it sound like this young lady was like, you got cancer? Fuck you and your cancer. And that's not what happened. Yeah. And I bet you if the inebriated person, who I'm hoping was a young person, just to give them a little bit of an excuse, like not even that's passable, but that would be like, oh my God, I am so sorry.
It could be
like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
and maybe they saw it and maybe they'll reach out to the family. Like if that were me and I was drunk and I didn't notice that I had done this to a kid and then I see it all over the news, I'm probably going to try to find a way to make it up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call attention to myself. I'm going to ask that nobody,
yeah.
I don't want to go with a camera crew. Oh, here I am, good citizen. I would be mortified that I did that. Honestly.
But like, I mean, Bills games are known in, yes, my traveling for other football games and everything. Bills Mafia tailgates harder than any other team. Half of them are wasted in the stadium. I'm not gonna lie. There have been games that I've gone to that I'm like, I don't even remember the fucking game I tailgated.
Yeah. Wow. I thought that was just because you were blonde. I didn't
But yeah, like I've definitely made a fool of myself in the stands. I think a lot of people have. Again, you're saying it was unshoveled, like how he was walking. It was probably a drunk asshole. He probably would. If it hadn't been an 8-year-old cancer survivor, had it been my 10-year-old son who got knocked over, that wasn't no.
I agree.
Like,
but I think that, and I'm assuming the story was somebody tweeted out. I'm sure the parents did. Frustrated that who knows if they bought the tickets or whatever.
Well, they said that there was a son too. I wonder if there was like a teenage son. You know, that teenage son has it on like TikTok and
yeah. And I get
viral.
it. Even if the mom or dad did it, I get it in the moment. I'm just saying, like, boy, they made it sound so much worse than I think it really was. Was the girl traumatized? Probably in the moment, scared. Sure.
Yeah, you feel bad for her.
Yeah, you do. I do. But she wasn't punting onto the field. Buffalo. I'm like, come on. Come on. You never had any problems when you traveled.
No.
Not even in England, some bloke.
No, England, the London game was just, it was a mix of.
You're a blonde chick. They probably also like come and hit on you and go, hey,
I got on NFL New Era over in London.
What?
I got on the New Era, like
TV or something?
Yeah.
I don't even, okay.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. Renee had a hard time last year when she went to the Philly game. I didn't go to it, but she
did go to the Philly game.
Yeah. She was
hard
like,
time how? Like I
being a Bills fan, being a girl, she went with our friend Kelly, who had gone with us to the London game. And she was like, called a whore, called
What?
everything. Like, get the fuck out of
Oh
here,
my
bitch.
God.
Like, people like screaming
Okay,
at her.
that see now that to me, there's a
That's
story.
worse, yeah.
Shouldn't that be like, hey man, NFL, why not?
I have no desire to ever go to a
What if
Philly
they start?
game.
I mean, we've heard of people thrown out of games and this and that. What about like finding somebody? Go, hey, that's not the.
Yeah.
We want everybody welcome here.
And she was
It's a
like
business.
tailgating with our friend who's a Philly fan.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Renee looks so prim and proper. She
I know.
she looks like she'd be uptight. Like football, I wouldn't even polo. Okay. Oh, she's a polo fan. I got it. Yeah, she's got her polo trading cards or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
No,
that's.
I get that.
I've seen your friend. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. Okay, I got it.
Yep.
But football loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and went to Philly.
Yeah. We've already talked about going to Houston next year for a game. I think that's where our eyes are set.
Really. You do this once a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's pretty ballsy.
it's so much fun. It's so much fun to travel for a game.
Yeah, I guess it would be, but it seems like a pain in the ass to me. I know, it just does. Like I'd rather go away. I have gone to Miami when we were when I was on the radio, and I was producing a morning show. We would all go to Miami and broadcast back to Rochester for the Bills Miami game.
Oh.
Back in the Jim Kelly days, the radio station used to buy a billboard down in Miami that said "Squish the Fish."
Oh, I love that.
And yeah, so there was a whole big thing. So then we would go down and broadcast, and none of us, I think we had tickets to the game. We wouldn't go. We'd be at the pool, drinking, watching the game.
I actually have not gone to a Miami game.
Yeah.
But,
Like-
I mean, in Miami.
In
but-
Miami. No, we were there,
Yeah.
and the whole purpose of the trip, people like listeners would buy packages, right? Hotel, airfare, tickets to the game, some kind of night out, barbecue, whatever. And then the rest of us would all just, get drunk, do the broadcast, have
Yeah.
a great time, and then fly back Sunday night after the game. But none of us went
Not
to the
even
game.
go.
Laying out by the pool,
I know.
doing whatever we wanted to do. And that's why I go, I don't know if I went to Houston.
But like, it's so, I don't know.
Well,
it's
it's-
just so much
if
fun
you're
to go
going
to
in that-
all the activities and all the like Bill's backers bars everywhere.
Yeah.
And you just, I don't know.
Have you met people that you've become friendly with
Mhm.
from these trips
Yeah.
that are maybe live in Buffalo, maybe
Yeah.
live in Chilai? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Seattle, one night at like one of the events, we hung out with Pinto Ron the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And like him and
Well,
his
Pinto
son.
Ron's, he's finally getting some like national attention. You see him in Tide ads.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see
Well,
that.
is it Pinto Ron? Is he the guy that
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
covered
the
with ketchup?
ketchup and
Yeah.
mustard.
There's a Tide ad. I believe it's a national ad that about football fans and
Oh.
tailgating, and they show him getting squirt with, and then the guy goes, "My Bills jersey's as good as new," and it's not him, but
Yeah.
he's in that ad briefly.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, like him and his son, I don't know, hung out with them. I mean, at the one tailgate party that we were at, Josh Allen's parents were there. Like, I didn't care to go. I'm not gonna like be like, whoa.
oh really? Not gonna be starstruck. Look at you.
No.
Okay.
Like I thought it was cooler to meet Pinto Ron.
Yeah, well, it is.
Like,
Yeah.
you know.
There's some idiot that allows himself to be covered with condiments.
Yeah.
As a grown old man.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. He was the one who used to cook on the manifold, I think.
Yep.
Of the
Yep. Because he was like, you got to come to one of our tailgates.
yeah.
I just haven't been to a home game since.
Yeah, that's interesting. What about what if Haley Steinfeld was with the newly engaged Haley Steinfeld, and you heard about Josh Allen's girlfriend saying her account was hacked?
Oh,
That
bullshit.
she's now with an owner and not a future CTE patient or something.
Yeah.
Wow,
whatever.
look at that throwing shade.
Of course, you're gonna throw shade, but like, then don't be
Do
like,
you?
"Oh my god,
Should you though?
it got hacked." No, but she's jealous as fuck.
Probably, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I mean, look, I saw her when Josh first showed up in town,
Mhm.
and he, I think they grew up together.
Yeah.
And she looked pretty, and I was like, oh, that's Josh Allen's girlfriend. It's like the girls today. Oh, your mom's pretty.
Yeah.
But your stepmom's on fire. Your dad really upgraded. That was like crazy, right?
Yes.
But it was sort of like I remember looking at her going, oh, well, I'll tell you what, money got soaked into her pores
Uh-huh.
because she looked the part. Like
Mhm.
she went,
Swag.
yeah.
Full on.
I mean, she went full on, and I like almost too much. Like I was like, ooh, I kind of liked you better before.
Yeah.
And not that it's any of my business, but now the Haley Steinfeld. But I think at some point, aren't you conscientious of where you are on the playing field of life? Okay, I dated Josh Allen. People know me from that, and it puts you into a. Believe me, she's probably on the arm of some millionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's an attractive,
absolutely.
girl, and probably lovely. But that kind of shit to me is very talented. It's trash in my mind.
Well, and like you said,
trash.
again, you always just, I think you want to, anyone who dates your ex after you still want to be like the better looking or the, better person in general. And so it's just
Is
self-consciousness.
that true,
speaking
really,
out.
Laura? Is that
I would say so.
All right. We'll take a moment. There was something else I wanted to do since you were here. And
Read emails. Talk about.
Well, I read some of the
people dropping
comments.
out of the podcast.
Oh, that's it. Yes, the pod drama. The pod
Oh,
drama. Should I spill it all?
You should because
Well,
we've been
at the
involved.
risk of hurting someone's feelings, I don't want to do that.
But we love this person.
Well, yes, and the person is genuinely liked. I guess I can just say it, right? It'll be my interpretation of it.
Well,
and I'll
we could
explain
say
to you
how it happened that when I walked in tonight,
Yes,
I said, "How's the soldier?" Because the last time
we should brainstorm more often.
we were,
Yes, I'm
were-
so glad. I literally,
Yeah.
I had a problem today, and I'm getting worried about myself. I'll just say this: I was going through, and I'm like, let me knock some of these bills out, right?
Mhm.
Pay some bills, and I couldn't remember the water and sewage company name. I could not do it, and it's a weird name, right? And I'm like, God, I know I had it, and I used to have it saved, but I guess I had it saved in another computer, and this is a new computer, and I can't find it. So I wind up calling my where I live, the main office there,
Yeah.
and I go, and they're like, garbage? Well, that's part of it. I go, oh, you mean water and sewage? I said, yeah, and I would have never come up with the name. Like it's freaking
It's
me
not
out.
like Monroe County Water
No,
Authority.
no.
Oh.
This is a company out of Utah. I know. But either way, I couldn't come up with it, and it was freaking me out. And just now, I'm like, I know there's something else I wanted to. Who's the blonde?
I think it happens to everyone though.
And I like
It's like
it.
when you walk in a room and you're like, "What the hell did I just walk in?" here
Well,
for?"
I'm realizing how ADHD I am.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to battle that, but I may try to do it with medicine at some point. I don't know.
Mm.
We'll take a moment and we'll spill the tea on the pod.
I don't.
Town got its hustlers, the Bowery got its bump.
This is a song I was telling you.
42nd Street got Big Jim Walker, he a bull shooting son of a gun. Yeah, he big and dumb as a man can come, but he's stronger than a country horse.
See the words he
I was gonna say I would still go and listen to this.
Me
music
too.
Nowadays.
Yeah. Pictures, but
Maybe with an edible?
Yes. He paints a great picture.
Yeah.
You don't talk about Superman's cape.
You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull a mask off an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim.
Don't mess around with Jim. Now listen to what happened to him. It's a great story.
Well, out of South Alabama come a country boy, sitting looking for a man named Jim. I am a bull shooting boy, my name is Willie McCoy, but down home they call me Slim. Yeah, I'm looking for the king of 42nd Street. He drive on a drop top Cadillac.
I mean, just a picture. It's just like, I love the lyrics.
Yep.
So great with words.
And everybody say, Jack, don't you know that you don't tug on Superman's cape? You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull the mask off an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim.
Now, guess what happens?
Well, a hush fell over the pool room. And Jimmy come popping in off the street.
Here comes Jimmy.
And when the cutting was done, the only part that wasn't blood, it was the soles of the big man's feet.
That's right.
Yeah, he was caught in about 100 places, and he was shot in a couple more. And you better believe I sung a different kind of story when a big Jim hit the floor. Oh, yeah, they saying you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind.
Now, listen if you don't mess around.
The mask off the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Slim.
Slim. Right? Slim came in and cleaned up Jimmy. That's right.
Find out where it's at. It's not hustling people strange to you. Even if you do got a two-piece custom-made bull cue. Yeah, you don't
I don't know why I fell in love with this guy.
I totally see like the taking an edible and listening to that music at Lincoln Hills Farms.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't you see that
Yeah.
vibe?
I have never been to Lincoln Hills Farms. I
it's
drive
great.
by it a lot, but I know people who've been there. I know weddings that have happened there
Yeah.
and different
It's
things,
great,
but
like
yeah.
jam music a lot there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, take an edible and go.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. I was waiting. A kid said something to me today, like, I don't want to rat myself out. They were trying to leave to go get a coffee that they allegedly dropped off for a teacher, and then they think the teacher wasn't there. And then one said, well, I had some coffee this morning. I just told myself, I don't want to say what I had this morning, is what they said. So I'm thinking in my head they had an edible.
Oh.
I don't say anything. And they go, I already had some coffee, so I guess you're not going to let me go see if that coffee's still there. I'm like, no, I can't let you leave the room. But
It's fun. One of my friends, I just found out, I knew she was sober. And the other day she goes, oh, I take an edible every single day. I was like, oh,
you're California sober.
Yes,
That's what they're
the
calling
California sober.
it. California sober.
Mhm.
You can call 585-206-8866, and you can leave messages like this. I have not listened to these. We will try to just see what these are. And then he points.
Hey, man.
This is
Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Hope you have a good weekend.
How sweet was that? Very
Very
nice.
kind.
Here's another one. Let's see what this one's going to be. Oh, wait, I don't want to call the person.
Hey, I don't know if I'm speaking to Bill Moran of the aptly named Bill Moran podcast. So this is going to be a bit of an odd situation, but I was just stumbling around on YouTube after work.
Oh boy, I'm a little nervous. I have not listened to these.
And I found your videos to be really insightful and entertaining. I'll just cut to the chase. I work for a podcast producing group. We sponsor fun.
I would have never played this. I swear to God, Laura, I would have never played this.
Hey, Bill
Listen, we
Moran
really
from
like what we're
Billified.
hearing.
You're amazing. Please.
So if you, I don't know if this number is still active, found it from the YouTube videos, but if you'd like to call me back soon, I'd love to tell you a bit more about myself and what we do. Maybe I can hear the same from you. All right, bye-bye.
Sign
I
us
would have
up.
never. I swear to you, Laura, because that's such a self-serving douchebag thing. And I like to think I have enough in the emotional bank with people to know that I would never.
Everything is
ever.
gonna be like, "Hey, what's up, fucker?"
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm waiting for. Wait,
Wait,
here comes the wait, what's up, fuckers? Here it comes. Let's see.
Those fucking unread text messages are probably from me. But did you just see where the Supreme Court was involved? Where now California, 15% of all pork produced, or 15%. California consumes 15% of all pork produced in the United States, and now they're going to make it a law that freaking the pigs that are raised have to have a few more square feet because it's inhumane. You know, pigs get fed, hogs go to slaughter. Now that they need a little bit more room in their stalls, else California's not going to buy your fucking pigs.
All right. Okay. So this is pressure on the Midwest farmers.
Yeah.
From California, and I get it. And if you were to ask me, and if you were to ask most people, I don't think they know anything about this.
No.
And nor do they care.
No.
Like in the big
But that's
picture thing.
informative.
But when you tell me something like that, I think most people will go, "Oh, that sounds shitty." You know, the pigs genetically were close enough to pigs that I believe the pig valves. Somebody still alive because it got a pig valve in their heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I don't know that this stuff goes on. If someone came to me with a petition, I probably would be persuaded to sign it, but it's not something I think about, and nor do I really give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to eat the pork either way.
Mhm.
I made pork
Crispy
chops.
bacon.
Yeah, I mean, which is bad, I guess. I don't know what that says about me. I think it says to most people that we get caught up in an emotional moment and we're not really thinking about it, because what are the bigger ramifications of this?
Yeah.
How much harder is it for the farmer? What a pain in the ass is this for the farmer? And I just say that, look at the other side. They're the ones that are trying to sustain and maintain a life.
Mhm.
And they're working their asses off, right? Sun up to sundown. There are farms that do extremely well. I happen to have one in my family.
Mhm.
That was the Munsons. My dad's brother, my Uncle Joe, married a woman whose parents were from Sweden, and they were farmers in the Midwest. They had, ready for this, a potato contract with McDonald's and a pea contract with Del Monte.
Oh.
And her brother in 1985 had taken over the farm and was named Farmer of the Year in the USA. They're like a huge corporation. That's a huge corporation. But if I'm just a guy who's living off my pigs, and now you're telling me I got to find another, 6 square yards for this to happen, that can make it tough. That could almost put somebody out of business. Think about these things sometimes when you do it, because do you really care about the pig, you fucking liars? Do you know what I'm saying? I just want bacon with my mimosa at brunch. That's it. That's all I want, if I'm being honest. Okay, let's get to the tea.
Man of simplicity.
Well, I'm just sometimes I believe that's really the truth with people.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes it's hard to run. It's hard to run a business,
Mhm.
right? I mean, you've done a hell of a job. You should be so fucking proud of yourself. Seriously. That while making like organizing, I'd be like, if my sister came to me and goes, "I'm going to be a professional organizer," I'd be like, yeah, how's that going to work? You've done it.
Yeah.
You're called in. You've got other people calling. Go, hey, we got a hoarder. You got to come in here and get their dirty diapers out from under the couch. But whatever. Good for you. But how hard that is. Now take somebody who maybe generationally, the farmer, the business, we know how hard it's been. The economy goes down, and now I got to find 6 more fucking yards. I got to do this, and I got some bureaucrat coming out to measure. Fuck off. Would be you can understand why people get pissed, and at the same time, I might go, "Oh, the poor little pig. Yeah, it makes sense. Give him a little more room." But I'm not thinking about the next step, how much harder that could be for the farmer. All right, I've made my point. Laura came in here today, and you said what?
I said, Hey, have you heard from the soldier? How is he doing?
And the reason
Talking
is
about his ass.
because you were here on the Monday night. Were you here Monday?
No.
Oh,
you guys,
it was the
text
text messages.
The text
The text
messages going on
messages.
last Monday.
That's right. That's right. The text
'Cause
messages.
we have a group text chain
I forgot.
with
Yeah,
the Monday
goddamn,
crew,
you
but
know
I'm
what?
not always in on
Okay,
Mondays.
so you the text thing goes off. Can I just bitch for just a moment?
Yeah, go for it.
It's fucking ding ding gang 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 gang. Everybody's got to be a fucking comedian in that thing. You notice how
he set us up for
but
such
do you
great
realize
comedy, though.
do you realize how infrequently though I comment on the thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, because I just can't get sucked into it.
I know.
You know, and I see there's one person in particular who answers all the time nonstop, and has very funny responses. I will not deny that.
I know.
They're very funny, but that was it. So yes, he had a fissure, is what it's called. And I don't know if that's like a hemorrhoid or a tear in the anus or a prolapsed anus. I'm not sure what it
He
is.
literally said that his butt was bleeding.
Yes.
And you and I came back
With
seconds apart with
Yeah.
the exact same joke.
Yes. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate. And that is called hack.
Yeah.
But it's that easy. That's when
Exactly.
people say hack comic, hack writer, it just means the lowest common denominator.
Well,
Which-
I went a little more to the extreme.
Yes. What did I say?
You said like,
Oh, I didn't know you were
like
into-
it up.
I
the
didn't.
butt,
Oh, I thought
or
I said
probing,
No, I said I didn't think you were into pegging.
pegging,
Yeah. That's where a woman puts a strap on and takes the man to town.
and I
Brown
said
town.
I knew Marianne wore the pants in the relationship. I didn't realize she also wore the strap on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, I just want you to know at Thanksgiving, my father said to me, you could raise your humor up a little bit once in a while from the bathroom all the time. And then says at another point, he says to me, you and my father, if there wasn't a bathroom, you'd have nothing to talk about. I'm like, I don't fucking know. You got on me about the podcast I talked about Thanksgiving dinner. He goes, were we at the same restaurant? I go,
Oh, when your dad got mad about the wine.
well, that was last
Yeah.
year. This year, not. We went to a different restaurant, and somebody secretly started a liquor tab, so he wasn't gonna. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it all worked out wonderfully, fine, no problem.
Yep.
But I was talking about this woman who I think there was a lady who kept smoking inside the restaurant, and they were trying to shoo her outside, and I think she was from Russia, and my father must have missed that completely because he goes, well, were we even at the same restaurant? I listened to your podcast. I go, I thought you didn't listen.
Yeah.
But Mark, so
Yeah.
Mark was not here that Monday night because of the problem.
Yeah.
And we did talk about this on the podcast that night. And we also talked about the night before, I had gotten a text from Matt saying that we need to bring this up. Mark, I don't know.
Agreed to talk about it.
No, but I don't think this was part of the group text.
No, but I listened. the
Oh,
next
okay, you
day,
did.
and
Yes.
So like,
Yes. He said so Mark showed up at BTB where Matt Reese is the manager and does a phenomenal job. Their winter specials are out. You can see that. And on their Facebook page, it's facebook.com BTB Wood-Fired Pizza and Grill. Just in case you're looking. So Mark goes there. He gets drunk. He's supposed to have done something with Marianne, his girlfriend, that day. And then somehow, I think maybe Matt said, I thought you were doing XYZ. And he goes, oh, shit, I forgot. I totally forgot. So the joke was she wanted to go to Fairport Music Fest earlier this year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you remember? And he
Yep.
said, I don't want to do
wanna
that.
go.
But she's taking him to Vegas. She
Yeah.
took him to see Sammy Hagar. She was taking him to Vegas to see Blake Shelton.
Blake Shelton?
No. The
Luke Bryan.
who's the I think it was Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was the Aussie.
But
for a
then
second.
it's like two, Blake Shelton, and then they're going back for someone else.
Yeah, they were going back for somebody else.
Yeah.
May have been another Sammy or another show or Barry Manilow. I have no idea. So we were busting his balls on that. Well, things were being said, and I thought the jokes were more in my memory. I didn't go back and re-listen, but in my memory, it was more saying, kind of poking fun at him being a shitty boyfriend, right? Or whatever. And whether that's true or not,
She
we don't
does
know.
all these things for you.
Yeah, it's
you
just
gotta
kinda like-
give and get.
It's like the shitty, stupid sitcom that made every father look like the dopey dope who couldn't figure anything out, right? And we were just poking fun at Mark like that. And I don't know that he's really like that with her because she, they do things together, and he'll tell me all the time, yeah, Marianne and I went here and we went there. So he does stuff.
They go to like the casinos a lot, don't they?
I don't know.
Or am I just pigeonholing?
You're pigeonholing.
Okay.
Which is really great because this is going to only make things better. I think that's fucking awesome. Thank you.
They went to Turning Stone for
Yes,
her birthday.
her
That's
birthday,
what I was
yes.
thinking.
They go to the
Okay.
casinos, right? And they sit in front of the penny slots all night. They get free drinks. They we were just picking on them about that, and then most of it was about the anal fissure and what is an anal fissure and all this stuff. And somebody said, "Oh, he's not going to be happy with this," or I think Kevin said to me, "Who's going to get the text first about how mad he was?" And I said, "If anybody gets it, it should be me." Right. And I did. I got a text later that night. And I'm going to paraphrase. I won't even go back and read it. But it basically said something like, "Hey, I don't want to be part of the podcast anymore. You guys went too far. Think about how Marianne would feel." And I was thinking, like, I didn't think we said anything bad, but we also just heard me say, I feel like they took the little girl cancer story and blew it out of proportion.
That's true.
Okay. So, and there are going to be people who go, "How the fuck can you say that, asshole?"
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know how Marianne's feeling. I can't, honestly, I mean, I like to think I'm somewhat of a rational human being. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. So I don't know. I like to, if we were sitting in a room together, I would go, "Come on. We were defending her, making you look like an idiot." So he said, and it's probably for the better anyway, blah, blah, blah. So I respond with, "I'm disappointed, but I understand. I thank you for all the fun you've brought to the podcast." Something like that. And I don't hear from anybody about anything. So, and I said in there, "Don't blame anybody else. This is all on me. I certainly encouraged it and said things and all that. I don't want anybody else taking bullets for anything, right? Because in the end, where's the buck stop? It's my name. It's my show. I put it all together. I like these people, but I don't want them getting yelled at for something they said." And I get it. So then I get a text over the weekend saying, this part might get me in trouble, and who knows, couples have bumps along the way. And he said, "We broke up." And he goes, "Certainly there were things that were going on, but I said, I'm so sorry to hear that," is what I said. And he said something to the effect of, he said something to the effect of, "There's a lot of things going into this, but you guys certainly didn't help." Okay. So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I just said, "Yeah, again, my sincerest apologies." And then there was Monday, and I wound up, that was yesterday, right? Oh my God, the days I
know,
I feel like I'm
darkness,
doing so much in a
season.
day these days that I honestly,
You're teaching.
well, summing and stuff. But anyway, so I have these guys. We're all set to go in. I had a parenting situation. I felt like took precedent. So I called an audible and I said to Matt and Kevin, "Don't come in." I think Mark was definitely not coming in. And I said to Matt, "By the way, I don't know if you know any of this." And he's like, "No, I knew nothing and I heard nothing." And I go, "Good." I said, "Good, because I'm glad he didn't text you guys and say, you said shit."
Yeah.
I'm going to get in so much trouble for this, but whatever. So I wrote Mark, maybe I wrote him Monday earlier in the day. And I just said, "If you ever have a change of heart," I said, "I know you're done with the podcast, but if you ever have a change of heart, please know you're always welcome."
Yeah.
That's all I said. Because that was it. Because I never want these things. Sometimes we get frustrated and somebody writes a text, and his texts were not nasty. They were not mean. They were concise and calm. And you know what I mean? They weren't like all capital letters where, someone's yelling at you, "Fucking assholes." There was none of that. Not even close. And that's when I always figure somebody's really genuinely hurt, right? When they're kind of a little more like, hey man, I just no. And they walk away and you don't hear from him again. And the fact that he didn't tell anybody else. I was like, oh, he is really hurt, and I also don't want to be, I always think that people are like, hey, come on. They're not sincerely apologizing to you. You know, as I tell this whole story, I apologize and then I'm telling the story. But it's sort of drama because he is a beloved
Oh my God.
on this podcast.
Yeah.
I hear many people say to me, I so like that guy.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what to think of him, but I really like him.
I think the first time I met him, I thought I was a creep, but then I'm like, oh my God, I love him.
Yes, see, that's what I'm saying. So
my favorite thing is the magnet up there on the fridge, pretending Mark being a peeping Tom to me being nude.
A listener created that. I wanted to know, and I hid it so no one could see it, and I wanted to make sure. I will tell you this. I will admit to something. Something else did show up in the mail with a Mark and you reference to it, and I threw it out.
What?
I did. I threw it out. I just didn't want to enter any. I wasn't sure how anybody was going to take it. It certainly could be funny, but I was like, nah. Well, I didn't know you that well then, and I don't want to. My big thing, and I mean this sincerely with the podcast, and this is why I'm telling the Mark story, is because my whole thing in life. People say, "Yeah, you're a dick, you're a bull." No, I love busting balls and playing, but I never wanted anybody, especially in radio. I would see people in radio where there was a guy we called Dead Arm Pat, because Pat would just walk with his arms hanging down and his head slung forward, and he was the producer of another morning show in a building we did a morning show in, and they would just beat the shit out of him, and you hated coming to work. And I go, in radio or entertainment, you can't hate going to work. I'm not going to say every day is going to be a bed of roses. I'm not going to say there may be some stressful moments, but what are you really fucking doing?
Yeah.
You know, and same thing here. This should be just fun. Can we get a little serious? Absolutely. I like to be a little more intelligent at times.
Yeah.
It's hard, but I'm just saying like that. So this with him, I don't want him to walk away going, I fucking hate you guys. You ruined a really important thing in my life.
It is sort of like going back to that, preschool playground.
Yeah.
Where if you tease someone, it's like a sign of endearance.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
we all tease each other.
Yes.
Well,
when you do it, I find it even funnier because here comes, little Miss, hi, I'm an organizer. And I did fuck you. It's like, whoa, boom. I love it.
Just how Dan that hates that I call him Danny. So I'm like, hi, Danny. But I think that all of us, we put ourselves out there on here too.
Yes.
And we're like used to picking on each other. Like, I'm surprised you don't get voicemails of people picking on us. Maybe you do. Maybe you screen those. Or
I didn't screen tonight, and I feel bad because I go, hey, I was just on YouTube.
Bill, you're so good.
I was like,
YouTube.
that's very entertaining. I go, I have no idea.
Signing you up.
Well, by the way, it could be a complete scam. Like,
absolutely.
I have to.
But so if going back, I know that we all pick on Mark. Mark and Kevin go back and forth like they're brothers.
Yes.
But I love it. I think it's so funny. Maybe it's because I'm here and you see it and you see that there is also like love and like, friendship and everything. If any of us, if I had texted you guys saying my ass is bleeding, you guys would have ripped me apart the entire podcast.
I don't know. I would have. Yeah.
No, come on. You would have. There would have been ass jokes, nonstop.
No, there would have been Joe jokes.
Yeah. So like he can't be so sensitive, and Mark definitely is sensitive.
Yes.
But we love him, and that's why it's like it's sad if he's gonna. I feel bad about the Marianne stuff.
I do too, and maybe all that.
Maybe you'll get back together.
It's the holidays. Yeah, come on, get some eggnog.
Maybe you should have taken her to Fairport Music.
Well, that might have helped.
No, Mark, you got to come back. We got to talk about your watching stories. They're the best.
Yeah. So but he didn't make a big deal because Matt said to me he had no idea. No, maybe
I'm surprised about that.
Matt was very
shocked.
Yeah, just genuinely. So I have no reason to question that at all.
Yeah.
And that guy's only been upfront with everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right.
Matt tells it like it is.
Yeah, I know he does.
I love it.
All right, Laura, this has been so much fun.
I know.
I really appreciate you coming in. Foodie stopping by unexpectedly all of a sudden, getting his Chinese food for his son. That was great. Big plans for the weekend? Oh, yeah, you got a comedy
4 days
show.
away.
You got a comedy show you're
I
going
have
to.
a comedy show.
Yes, I think it's great.
Well, I thought it was a group effort. It looks like.
Somebody rope-a-doped you into a one-on-one. Hey!
Oh, God.
No, but I think that's great. I'm
not meeting this person and no flowers.
no flowers?
Yeah.
You're not going to get signed up for the month?
No, I'm not
Boy,
getting.
that got abruptly changed and I've never heard from Earl again.
See, I guess I
There are
friendship.
sometimes the podcast has
I
really done some bad stuff, I suppose. I don't know. I've never
Don't
heard
fucking
from her.
send me roses.
I didn't.
When I say no, cut it off.
Yeah, but it was like, how many months were you getting those?
3 months.
3 months. All right. For Laura, organizer, go to, what is it again?
PolishedHomeOrganizing.com.
PolishedHomeOrganizing.com. She does a great job. People rave. They do. They rave. And we may have a special show even Friday.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
it'll be 2-year anniversary. We'll tell you all about that in coming episodes. I'm Bill Moran. See you tomorrow.
We was up to they wouldn't let us in, and now we landed in Memphis like original sin. Elvis Presley Boulevard to the Graceland gates. See, we were looking for a Cadillac with Tennessee plates.